Ladies and gentlemen, gather round. Today we unravel a tale not of tragedy but of liberation. A tale of pain turned purpose, heartbreak turned clarity, and betrayal turned salvation. Oh yes, let me tell you, it wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't happenstance. And it wasn't bad luck. No, my dear audience, it was divine intervention, cloaked in the guise of agony. You see, sometimes the universe, in all its infinite wisdom, hands you poison in a golden chalice. It lets you sip. It lets it burn your throat, lets it twist in your stomach, and you curse the stars. You cry to the heavens, screaming, why? Why did this happen to me? But then, one day the clouds part, and you realize that poison was the cure you never asked for, but desperately needed. But let's rewind a bit, shall we? Let's talk about them. The ones who wore masks so convincingly, you mistook them for saviors, for soulmates, for forever. They were charming, weren't they? Smooth talkers, their promises wrapped in silk, their lies disguised as lullabies. But beneath that facade, my dear, there was rot. Rot so deep, so insidious you couldn't see it until it started to consume you. And consume you it did, slowly, subtly, like a shadow creeping across the floor. They chipped away at your joy, your confidence, your very sense of self. But you held on, didn't you? Because you believed in them. You believed in the illusion they so masterfully created. You believed they could change, that they could be better, that they could love you the way you deserve to be loved. But love is a manipulation. It isn't control. It isn't selfishness disguised as affection. And deep down you knew that. Deep down, you felt the weight of their toxicity, the heaviness of their presence. But you stayed. You stayed because hope is a stubborn thing, isn't it? Hope will make you cling to a sinking ship, praying for a miracle that never comes. And that's where God comes in. Yes, my dear, God watched you drowning in that sea of lies and thought enough. God doesn't give you what you want. God gives you what you need. And what you needed was to be free. So God let them hurt you. Let them reveal their true colors. Let them shatter the illusion you clung to so desperately. It wasn't cruelty, it was mercy. It was a wake-up call. A slap across the face. A push out of the cage you didn't even realize you were in. Because if they hadn't hurt you, you would have stayed. Stayed in that prison of false promises. Stayed in that cycle of pain. Stayed with someone who was never meant to be yours. But oh, how it burned, didn't it? The betrayal, the heartbreak, the sheer audacity of their actions. It felt like your world was ending, like your heart would never heal, like you'd never trust again. And that's exactly what you needed to feel. Because sometimes, pain's the only thing that can break the chains we've wrapped around ourselves. So here you are, standing amidst the rubble of what once was, looking at the ashes of a love you thought would last forever. But let me tell you something, those ashes, they're fertile ground. From those ashes you'll rise. From those ashes you'll rebuild. From those ashes you'll become something so much stronger, so much wiser, so much more ordinary than you ever were before. And then no, they'll regret it. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but one day they'll wake up and realize they lost the best thing that ever happened to them. They'll look for you in everyone they meet and come up empty every single time. Because people like you, you're one in a million. You're not replaceable, not replicable, not forgettable. But don't let their regret consume you. Don't let their pain become your focus. They were a chapter, not the whole book. They were a lesson, not your destiny. They were a storm that came to clear your skies, a fire that came to forge you anew, a catalyst for your transformation. And transform you will, because now you know your worth. Now you know what you will and won't tolerate. Now you know that love isn't supposed to hurt. That love isn't supposed to break you. That love isn't supposed to make you question your own value. You've been given a second chance, a clean slate, a new beginning. So take it, run with it. Build a life so beautiful, so fulfilling, so undeniably yours that they choke on their own regret. Because you're not just surviving, you're thriving. You're not just moving on, you're moving up. You're not just living, you're living proof that God doesn't close a door without opening a window. So hold your head high, my dear. Walk forward with purpose, with strength, with the unshakable knowledge that you are enough. You've always been enough. That their failure to see your worth says more about them than it ever will about you. Ah, my dear audience, let us not forget when the universe writes your story, it uses the ink of transformation. Every line, every paragraph, every painful twist of fate is not the end, it is merely a prelude to something greater. So let us delve deeper, shall we? Let us explore the tapestry of lessons woven into the very fabric of your being. Imagine, if you will, the moment they realized they'd lost you. Oh, it's not an instant realization, no. It creeps up on them like a shadow at dusk, slowly, steadily, engulfing their reality. It begins with a pang, a fleeting thought, a whisper in the back of their mind, what have I done? They dismiss it at first, their ego acting as a shield. But over time, that whisper grows louder until it's a deafening roar they can no longer ignore. And there you are, not looking back, not waiting, not hoping for their redemption. You're moving forward, each step a testament to your strength. You've learned the sacred art of letting go. It wasn't easy, was it? No. It felt like tearing away a part of yourself, like leaving behind a piece of your soul. But you did it. You chose yourself. And that choice, it was the most powerful decision you've ever made. They underestimated you. They thought their absence would shatter you, that you'd crumble under the weight of their betrayal. But instead you flourished. You became the phoenix, rising from the ashes of their deceit. And now they see you soaring, untouchable, unstoppable. And it burns them. Because here's the truth they never wanted to admit. They needed you more than you ever needed them. You were their anchor, their light, their constant in a world full of chaos. But they mistook your kindness for weakness, your patience for naivety. They played their games, thinking you'd always be there, a pawn in their endless cycle of manipulation. But you were no pawn. You were the queen on the chessboard, the one who saw through their moves, who anticipated their next play, who flipped the game on its head. And when you walked away, you didn't just leave the board, you set it ablaze. Now they sit in the ruins of their own making, trying to piece together what went wrong. They replay the moments in their mind, searching for the misstep, the crack in the foundation. But deep down they know it wasn't one moment, one mistake. It was the culmination of their own choices, their own actions, their own ability to value something if they're able when it was right in front of them. You realized that their actions were never a reflection of your worth. No, their inability to love you the way you deserved had nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. They were fighting battles you didn't create, waging wars you had no part in. In the chaos they tried to drag you down, hoping you'd drown with them. But you refused. Oh, how beautifully you refused. You swam against the tide, against the current of their toxicity, until you found the shore. And now, as they struggle in the waters they poison, you stand on solid ground, stronger, wiser, unshaken. Every day they feel a moment. They're absolutely more than Inspirational. They're haunted by you brought into their life. And that regret, it's a slow poison, one they'll have to live with for the rest of their days. But let's not dwell on their suffering. No, my dear, let's focus on your triumph. Because this isn't their story, it's yours. It's a story of how you turned pain into power, heartbreak into healing, and loss into liberation. It's the story of how you found yourself in the midst of chaos, how you rose above the storm, how you reclaimed your narrative. And the best part, this is just the beginning. The chapter you're in now is one of growth, of self-discovery, of becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's a chapter filled with possibilities, with opportunities, with the kind of joy that can only come from within. And so, let them watch, my dear. Let them see what they lost. Let them see the life you're building without them. Let them witness the beauty of your resilience, the strength of your spirit, brilliance of your light. Because you are a force to be reckoned with. You are the storm they didn't see coming, the fire they couldn't extinguish, the masterpiece they failed to appreciate. And now they're left with nothing but memories, while you're creating a future so bright it blinds them. This isn't the end of your story, my dear. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. And as you walk forward, head held high, remember this: you are enough. You've always been enough. And their failure to see that, it's their loss, not yours. So go, my dear. Go and write the next chapter. Make it bold. Make it beautiful. Make it yours. Because the best revenge is anger, bitterness. It's living your life to the fullest.